Good morning, children. Welcome to biology class. So, today, children, we are going to start chapter 6 Molecular Basis of Inheritance. In this chapter, children, we are going to learn about the DNA, then packaging of DNA, RNA, central dogma, genetic code, and many more. So, children, all living organisms, they have two types of nucleic acids, deoxyribonucleic acid or DNA and ribonucleic acid or RNA. Usually in all organisms, DNA, it functions as genetic material and it stores all heredity information except some which in riboviruses. Like in riboviruses, only RNA is the genetic material, but in all other organisms, RNA, it functions as a messenger carrying genetic information for protein synthesis from DNA and is adapted for transporting amino acids at the assembly site for protein synthesis. So how this DNA as a genetic material is discovered, children? Now, Mesher, he isolated nuclein from nucleic of WBCs in 1869. Discoveries which was done by Walter Sutton, Thomas Hunt, Morgan and other, they have already established that heredity material, it is present in the nucleus in chromosomes, and these chromosomes, they are formed of proteins and nucleic acids, DNA. But it took long to establish that DNA, it is the heredity material. Because for many years, proteins were considered to be the most suitable for storing and transmitting heredity information because they show diversity in their structural and functional, their abundance in the cells and their regularity affected. So the work of Frederick Griffith in 1928, he demonstrated that DNA, not proteins, is the heredity material. So let's find out the Griffith's experiment, who transformed the principle from protein to DNA. So Frederick Griffith, he was a bacteriologist of England in 1928. He found that pneumonia-causing bacteria, Streptococcus pneumoniae, they occur in two strains. Smooth virulent strain or S3, Streptococcus cell of the virulent strain cause pneumonia in mice because its cells, they are enclosed in a polysaccharide capsule which protects them from being engulfed by WBCs. As you know, children, that WBCs, they are there to engulf the bacteria or the germs. Because of capsulated cells, their colonies are smooth and shiny. Therefore, virulent strain, it is also called smooth strain or S. Rough avirulent strain or R2. Now, these streptococcal cells, they do not produce symptoms of pneumonia. They lack polysaccharide capsule and they can be destroyed by WBCs. Their colonies, they have irregular appearance and therefore they are known as rough strain. Now, when Griffith completed his experiment, he observed that R2 non-virulent bacteria, when they were injected in mice, the mice remained healthy. But when S3 or virulent bacteria injected in mice developed pneumonia and died. So if S3 virulent bacteria, it was heated at 60 degrees centigrade and killed. Now these killed bacteria, they were injected in mice. Again, no pneumonia symptoms appeared. Then a mixture of R2 non-virulent and heat-killed S3 bacteria, they were injected into mice and the mice developed pneumonia and died. So the bacteria isolated from these dead mice were found to contain a mixture of live capsulated S3 and non-capsulated R2 forms. The Griffith concluded that heat killed S3 bacteria. They have introduced some transforming principle that has caused transformation of some R2 bacteria into virulent capsulated S3 bacteria. Now, this was described as Griffith's effect or bacterial transformation. Here is the experiment, Griffith experiment on genetics transformation in Streptococcus. After that, Avery, MacLeod and Macauley's experiment came in existence. They separated and identified the chemical nature of transforming principle which transformed the non-virulent Streptococcus bacteria to virulent form. And then they confirmed that it is DNA. Now the capsulated bacteria of virulent strain type S3, they were ground finely and its fractions DNA, protein and carbohydrate were separated. Now each separated fraction added to nutrient medium in 3 separate test tubes containing culture of R2 Streptococci bacteria. Then it is kept for a few hours. The new culture of bacteria contained a mixture of virulent S3 and non-virulent R2 bacteria only in one petri dish which received S3 DNA. It means that DNA is the transforming principle. When this DNA extract was treated with DNase or DNA hydrolyzing enzyme, the transforming property of extract was lost. But when it was treated with proteases, the protein hydrolyzing enzyme or RNase or RNA hydrolyzing enzyme, the transforming ability was not lost. This shows that hereditary material can be extracted from one organism and can be introduced into another to modify its hereditary material. And the gene is DNA. Next experiment, which is also very important experiment, Hershey-Chase experiment on bacteriophage to show that DNA is hereditary material. This is bacteriophage, children, and this is a protein coat labeled with are radioactive. Now DNA, it is a hereditary material. It was again proved by Alfred Hershey and Martha Chase from their experiment due to phages. The phage attaches itself to the bacterial cell by its tail. The DNA present inside the head is transferred into the bacterium and protein coat is left outside. Inside the bacterial cell, the phage DNA multiplies and produces a large number of new phage DNA molecules. Each of these DNA molecules, they develop into its own protein coat forming daughter phage particles. Here, as you see children in the diagram, this is the Hershey-Chase experiment. Now, this first step, infection, now DNA introduced, protein coat left outside. Okay, then next is blending takes place to remove the protein coat from bacterial cell. Next is the centrifugation to separate supernatant and bacterial cells. Radioactivity detected in cells. Now no radioactivity detected in cells. Now next is tested for radioactivity. Now no radioactivity detected in supernatant and radioactivity detected in supernatant. So some phages, they were grown in bacteria containing radioactive sulfur. Sulfur is incorporated in the formation of amino acids, cysteine and methionine. Therefore, phages grown in radioactive sulfur contain radioactive protein coat. Some phages, they were grown in bacteria containing radioactive phosphorus. phosphorus gets incorporated in DNA, therefore bacteriophage is grown in radioactive phosphorus contain only radioactive DNA. So these two types of radioactive phages, they were grown in two separate samples. The phages grown in radioactive phosphorus pass their radioactivity to the daughter phage particles through their DNA. The phage containing radioactive sulfur, they did not transfer their radioactivity to their daughter phages. So the radioactive sulfur was found in protein coat left outside the bacterial cells. So the Hershey Chase concluded that DNA, it is the hereditary material of every living organism. Now come to, so most of the RNA plant viruses, they have RNA as the hereditary material. In some plant viruses, RNA, it is single-stranded, while in others, it is double-stranded. Frankel Conrad, he conducted experiment on tobacco mosaic virus or TMV to demonstrate that in some viruses, RNA acts as hereditary material. So, he took viruses with single-stranded genome and as a template and synthesizes a complementary single-stranded of DNA. This complementary single-stranded DNA in turn synthesizes its complementary strand and forms a double-stranded DNA. The double-stranded intermediates usually occurs in transient stage. Now these TMV particles, they were collected from infected tobacco leaves. The proteins and nucleic acids, they were extracted and they get separated. When cell debris, that is protein coat of virus, was introduced in tobacco leaf, the leaves remained healthy. Cell filtrate containing nucleic acid was injected into tobacco leaf. It got infected with virus and died. These results show that RNA causes the infection but not the protein. When these two substances were mixed together, they reconstituted TMV particles. These reconstructed TMV particles were capable of causing infection. So here is a reconstruction of hybrid virus from two different varieties of viruses and their progeny or individual resembling to the parent from which RNA was received. So this is type A virus, this type B virus, protein A and protein B is taken. Then protein coat type B and reconstructed virus with RNA plus protein B. Now this causes infection leaf and here this is the virus progenitor which resembling the type A virus. So it was also possible to synthesize chimeric virus particles using RNA from one variety and protein from another. The reciprocal hybrid viruses, they were prepared from tobacco mosaic virus and Holmes ribgrass virus. They produce infection patterns similar to the variety from which they had received RNA, and the protein coat was also similar to the variety from which RNA was derived. These experiments showed that RNA is hereditary material in plant viruses. Now, essential features of genetic material. Now, this genetic material, it is a substance that stores information about structure, function, and development of various characteristics of organism. That means it is universal occurrence. That means it should be present in all the cells. It should have ability to store hereditary information in coded form. It should be able to replicate accurately to form its carbon copy that could be transferred to daughter cells and from one generation to the next without any change. Synthesis of proteins and enzymes, that means genetic material should be able to express itself through the formation of specific biological molecules. It should have physical and chemical stability so that stored information are not lost, and it should undergo gradual modifications by mutations and recombinations so that new characters appear in organisms to produce diversity. So this is all for today, children. In our next class, we'll learn something more about the differences between DNA and RNA. Till then, thank you and have a nice day.